first. Hey, y'all. It's been a while.
It's great to be back.
It's actually amazing to be back.
We're back. I hate that we're back under these pretenses, though. I wish we were here on a lighter note, on a more positive note. But, I mean, we got some shit we got to talk about. A lot.
Yes.
And I don't mean to refer to it as shit, but... shit got real. I don't even like.
There's so many topics that we need to touch on. So just starting it out, y'all. I'm Yanni.
I'm Rissy Riss.
I'm Jay Benz.
And we have two special guests with us here today. We have Mies.
Hello.
This is my best friend, guys.
Hi.
and
back again.
Back again and again.
Right.
Let's give a round of applause for Cash Out Core.
Honorary Illest Girl Next Door member at this point. Like,
thank you guys for joining us today to talk about this topic. We appreciate you guys.
No problem.
yeah. So, I mean, we gonna go ahead and start it off. Y'all know what the fuck been going on. Like, honestly.
How do y'all feel about it?
It's about goddamn time. That's how I feel. Like, it's long overdue. That's how I feel.
It just feels unreal that this is still something that we're talking about.
Honestly.
For me, like, it just, like, why is this something that we're dealing with? You know what I mean? So it's just like, I've had to disconnect myself from certain social media platforms and really do the research on my own and learn for myself. Because, you know, like, you get on Twitter and you get on Instagram and it's fake news and it's people who don't know what they're talking about and it's really biased opinions and not the truth. And it's just like, I can't take this. So it's been a crazy couple weeks.
I feel like when you do the research, though, it's like, that's when it becomes, that unreal becomes, like, real. It makes sense for why we still fighting for this. It's like, wow, this is not, like, because if you just skipping from, you know, Abraham Lincoln abolishing slavery to Obama, then yeah,
I feel like it's like a perfect storm, I guess you could call it that, because like you said, it's about time, but at the same time, I guess you can say, like, in other instances, like if you look at Ferguson or if you look at what happened with Trayvon Martin, it was a lot of uprising about it, but we still had other things to distract us. Like, people was living their everyday lives. People was still going to school, or people was still going to work, going out, you know, things like that. Whereas, you know, with this, it's just, I look at it like it's a blessing. Not that he had to lose his life. It shouldn't take for that, but in the sense that everybody has the time to be focused on this, and everybody has the time to pay attention to what's going on, because most people is not working, most people is not in school, you know, clubs is closed, things like that. So everybody is devoting all their energy to this, and I feel like, you know, it is kind of surreal still because of that added factor, but it's just great to see. You know, like I said, it's unfortunate that it takes for these tragic things to happen and senseless, you know, killings by police. But, you know, on a positive side, is like, it's great to see. Like, I never seen so many black people care about each other. You get what I'm saying? I never seen so many black people, you know, trying to move in the right direction and through action more than just, you know, saying things. So, like, it's just great to see. I would say that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you brought up the fact that, like, people were still, like, they were still living their everyday lives when, like, Ferguson and all the other protests were going on, because I thought about it. I'm like, why is this protest and why is this so much bigger than all the other ones? And I thought about it. I'm like, because we're in quarantine. People aren't as distracted. People have to sit in the house and they're scrolling on social media. They're scrolling on Twitter. They're watching the news. They're watching everything because there's literally nothing else to do. And it's like, once they really sat down and paid attention to what's really been going on, it's like, oh shit, this has been happening the whole time. But we've been so confused. And like, I was watching The Matrix last night. We've been caught up in The Matrix this whole time. So it's like, shit is really starting to come out and it's really getting real for people. And I think that's why it's been such an uproar over this specific incident. It's like, I've never seen anything like it before. Like, we're literally living in a history book time. Like, our kids are going to be learning about this in 10 to 20 years. Like, it's going to be in history books. And I think that's so profound and it's so important, because I want to be able to tell this story to my kids. Like, yo, I remember that day. Like, I was there. Like, I remember that day, you know? But have you guys like ever faced any personal experiences when it came to racism or like being racially profiled or stereotypes, anything like that?
I have personally, like, growing up where I grew up is really diverse. So everybody was kind of like segregated in these cliques. And they weren't really nice people, like, growing up, about just like my hair growing up, the fact that I was black in general, jobs. I had this one job, not gonna get into it though. They discriminated me against my hair all the time. Like, literally, like, you know, the poof I have in now.
Who was it so black people know not to work there?
Staples.
Oh, I bet.
Moving on.
The one on Bloomfield Ave?
Yeah.
All right, no problem. I said it, not you.
But yeah, like, I've been discriminated like that, or even like in my jobs, like my recent jobs with my bosses who are like really white, and they'll be like, oh, like, I don't like the braids on you, and I don't like this on you, and I don't like that on you, or just the comments, or like, I'm a waitress as well, so I get tables that'll treat me differently. I'll get people that'll say things. I definitely have been called the N-word. I've definitely been called.
You've been called the...
You've been cute for you're cute for a black girl. Just, it's just every day that we live with it, and people don't see anything wrong with it until we're speaking out on it right now, which I'm happy about personally, because a lot of people are starting. Even the people who didn't understand what was wrong with it is trying to see what's wrong with it, and at least like we're all taking a step forward with that. But just the little things that like black women face, black men face, the little comments that we just kind of learn to live with and ignore, it's not okay. And it's kind of like we're relearning to love ourselves growing up. You look back and you're like, yo, like, I was the bomb. Braids, hoop, earrings, everything. The way I talk, the way I act, I was the bomb, because everybody's doing it now. It's just like,
Thanks.
so I feel like I've been discriminated against my whole life in just tiny ways that I just feel like, you know, white people just don't have to go with, don't have to deal with. Like, there's difference. Like, don't ever say you're beautiful, black girl. Just say I'm beautiful. That hurts. Like, it's just looking at like, oh, like what's beauty to you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah.
Yeah, I've never really had anyone that's been overtly racist to me, but I have seen like little things here and there. Like, I went to Rider University, which is a PWI, and I remember my freshman year being in class, and you know, you had to do like the little icebreakers and stuff, and the teachers would ask you where you were from, and then I say Newark. Mind you, I'm like one or two black kids in the class, and then I'm from Newark, and then like I would see like the white kids, like they'll turn red, or like somebody be like, what? Like some stuff like that. And then there was even an experience, Tamise can actually speak on this. We actually did a Black Lives Matter march. What was that, 2016? 2015?
I feel like it was probably, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could go ahead and tell that story.
Nah, you started it. Go ahead.
No, basically, we were doing a march around the campus, and as we were making our rounds, these two white kids came up to us, and this was during the Trump campaign. They came running towards us, and they were like, what did it say? All Lives Matter, Trump 2016?
Yeah, something like that.
And then ran off.
But it was a silent protest, by the way.
Yeah.
It wasn't like with a bunch of like rowdiness, nothing. We literally walked around campus silently.
It was like a visual almost. And they came up and said, All Lives Matter, Trump 2016, but then they ran off. So, of course, you know us, we was ready to get right. Right. Like, we was ready, but then they were like, nah, because that's what they want. That's what they want. They want you to get rowdy. They want you to do that. And it just shows how cowardly they were and how ignorance is really bliss. Like, they can live in that. They can live in an All Lives Matter thing because they're ignorant to it.
Yeah.
And they really don't know anything else. So.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, speaking on something like that, too, like, one, to go with what you were saying about you feeling like other people were putting certain things on you, like you're pretty for a black girl, or I feel like you should wear your hair like this. Like being a teacher, you automatically also think about, I often feel like my blackness isn't professional, if that makes sense, right? So it's like, dang, I want to wear this hairstyle, but that's a summer hairstyle when I don't got to go to work on Monday, because that might not be professional. But it's like, I teach black kids though. So how that work, and how that's not professional, and how you gonna tell me what's professional or what my kids should see? They're gonna wear it regardless, so I should probably tell them how to make it look professional, right? Because I want to wear it. But it's like, I still gotta step in this building, and I still gotta deal with you looking at me and judging me. So I'm just going put these dress pants on, put these shoes on, dull my hair down, make sure everything is regular and professional, and go about my day. But it's like, it shouldn't be that way. Because like I said, I teach black kids. I'm not teaching your kind of kid.
Right.
If I was teaching your kind of kid, then how you was coming makes complete sense. But it's like, no, they probably going to come back and work where I'm working. So
it's just like, we should be able to, you know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't have been conditioned to have to do certain things to make ourselves acceptable. That's just the bottom line. Like, even growing up, at least me, I just feel like growing up, I've seen like the natural hair movement really take off from like opposed to my parents growing up. It was always perm, straight hair, gotta keep it down, gotta keep it tamed. And I'm like, Mom, I'm trying to wear my afro out because it's beautiful. But then I go to Staples and he like, why your hair look like that? Like what? What are you talking about?
Right.
Like this is my hair.
But
That's
I
how it
think
curl up. You get what I'm saying?
I think it's even deeper than what makes us different, right? Like, it could be simple things like tattoos. When I go to work, I'm gonna wear a long sleeve shirt, or I'm gonna at least wear something right here. I'm not gonna wear a tank top. But my white counterpart, she gonna wear a tank top, her hair gonna be purple, and she gonna have a sleeve full of colored tattoos, by the way.
And piercings all
but
over.
on her white skin. So immediately, I'm gonna see that color from across the room, but you ain't gonna tell her it's unprofessional, but you gonna tell me to put a sweater on. But that's something that's the same.
Yeah.
At least if you saying, all right, my hair texture, then that's your opinion, whatever. But you gonna tell me my tattoos is unprofessional, but she could wear hers? Like,
Even down to my first name.
how long your skirt is. Oh, my skirt gonna look a little different. There's maybe some hips attached to it. Like,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Like it's gonna rise
But
up in
I
the back. I'm
promise you
sorry.
it's the same length, and I'm not trying to be fresh with the students. Like, why is that the conclusion we jump into?
Right.
But it's like, those are the things you gotta fight as a black person, and it's like, it's those little obstacles, like those little decisions you making in the morning, like.
So at what point, for instance, at what point do you draw the line? If you're like at a job, you're the only black person, is racist, you don't want to be there, but at the moment, this is where you're getting your income from, and you don't really have a choice. So like, at what point do you draw the line? Like, I'm going to just quit and figure it out, or I'm going to just thug it out, even though, like, you're pro-black, you protest, you do everything, you're full in. But you're stuck in this predicament. At what point do you draw the line?
From personal experience, Staples I left. It was like, I started, it gradually, I started seeing more Hispanic women come in and take that. Literally, it was like predominantly black when I first started. I started to see Spanish girls come in, they get more hours than me, da-da-da, and I'm just like, you know what? I was young, so I can't speak for somebody who has a family and a kid to raise. But me personally, I'm out. You feel me? And that's what I did. So,
because I feel like that's like another problem as well too. Like, of course you don't want to be here, but right now this is your situation, and I just feel like there should be maybe like, I don't know if it should be like a law, but like something in place. Like, if you don't want to be here for certain reasons, like, I don't know, you can't really sue somebody for being racist.
No, there's actually, I think they did come up with a law a couple years ago where it said it's illegal to discriminate in the workplace because of like, well, that's actually a thing anyway. Like, you go to human resources
you know they
and
get
stuff
away
like
with
that.
it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there should be something like, I cannot be here, and these is the reasons why I cannot be here.
Like, honestly, I'm glad for the sake of this reason only. I'm glad I work at City Hall because I don't have to worry about that.
But also,
Like,
I think
a
you
person's
can.
hairstyle is the last thing that you have to worry about at City Hall.
I feel like it's something you can fight, though.
I
but
think
it's
you
just
can,
like,
yeah.
you got to think people don't have the resources to fight it, right?
And they don't know
So
that
if
they
I don't have the
can.
resources to fight it, or I don't have the intelligence, or I got to pay for a lawyer or whatever to fight this, I'm not doing all that. I'm either just thug it out, or and I think that personally, I feel like that's your personal choice, whichever one you choose. And I feel like being a black person, whichever one you choose, is okay. You decided you wanted to thug it out because that's your circumstance, and you got kids, and you got mouths you got to feed, or your own mouth you got to feed. That's okay. And if you decided, I'm dipping because Black Lives Matter and you're wilding, that's okay too.
I feel like that's also kind of going on with like black cops now. Like, it's like, this is your job. Like, whether you signed up to be here, you know, to make a change, or you just wanted to be a cop. Because people sign up to be cops for different reasons. Not all cops are bad. But with everything going on, and you know you gotta be there at the protest, and you're black, and all your people on the other side, and you in blue. So it's just like, I can only imagine how that feel. Like, what do you do?
It really comes down to like you said, that's your prerogative. If you want to, dumb it down so that you can keep your job, that's cool. But me personally, I feel like one thing that you shouldn't do is convince others to do that, because it is wrong. If you ask me, now certain wrongs is acceptable because it's like you doing it for the betterment of yourself or your family. So you taking that L, which is fine. But what I don't like is, for example, like when the topic that we speaking on, when it is referred to politics, the term is Black respectability politics, and that means you through your different, the way you carry yourself, you basically say, like, you ever heard somebody say, like, oh, don't talk this way because that's what they expect from us, or they're not gonna respect you if you talk that way, things like that. You get what I'm saying? And certain, activists back then, like, for example, W.E.B. Du Bois, he was big on that, which is like, yo, y'all need to, like, take these certain jobs and y'all need to dress this way so that the white man can respect you, and then from there we can start asking for rights, as opposed to saying we deserve them regardless of how we act. So when you apply those things, I personally feel like you said, it's your choice, but when you start, preaching that to other people, or you teach that to your kids, I feel like that's sick, because it's like you're basically telling them that you have to, I guess, kiss ass to get things that you deserve as a human being. I can't ever agree with that. And as far as cops, I think, yeah, you can be a cop if you want, but the moment that you catch yourself letting certain things happen and you don't speak up or participate in certain things, I don't want to hear that you pro-Black and it's just your job. Because at the end of the day, yes, you can quit and you may lose your source of income. That's true. But if you do it, then you do it. It's not no excuse behind that. Like, you just got to say, you got to live with that. You sold out, more or less. That's what a sellout is. Yeah. It don't matter why you sold out. Nobody want to hear that. You still did it. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to also understand, like, in policing and everything, there's also ranks, too. So, say it's like your supervisor, the one that's acting out.
No. I got two questions then. Like, say we skip the police, then what if you go, because you could quit. Like how you said, you could quit and you don't got no consequences on that, right? So, and like how you said, that's your prerogative. What if you in the military, though? And you can't quit, and you can't not show up for work? Yeah.
Then you
now I'm going to jail.
If you want me to be honest, in situations like that,
should I go to jail?
I would personally say you shouldn't have, like, if you can't say that you didn't know that the military is a part of the government, right? And if we know the history of the government, then you know the history of the military. So you made that decision when you joined. I'm not saying you should. You're going to go to jail if you quit. So no, you shouldn't do that. And that's not really the safest situation for you to be speaking out against people, obviously. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that either. But if you come home and people say, yo, you was a part of a system that's against us, you can't be mad at that, because you was. And that wasn't, nobody forced you to do that.
So then can I just ask you two more questions?
Of course.
So what you were saying before about, one, I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's an okay thing to go through a system. Get the seat at the table and be able to take over. I feel like that's an okay plan. I don't feel like you selling out like in that manner, right? So like if you take so like Kanye right now, right? So he been in the news. And the idea right now of what everybody's saying is Kanye put this MAGA hat on. And he told Trump, I'm on your side. He gave his money to Hillary, and then he's saying, I'm giving my money to where I want my money to be. I became a billionaire. I got my seat at the table, now I'm going to take this MAGA hat off.
He had.
And I'm going to take all of the L's on the way there. From my people, I'm going to take those L's because I'm going to get my seat at the table.
That's kind of innocent for Jay-Z, too, like with the NFL.
So that's what I'm asking.
It's not the same, though. I'm going to tell you why. In my opinion, it's not the same.
He played his rules.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My name is Jen. Nice to meet all of y'all.
Nice to meet you, Jen.
I kind of agree with you and disagree with you. Why I agree with you is I agree. I was just talking about my friend CJ about this earlier. It's systematic oppression. It's multiple different layers to it, right? It's not just building wealth. It's not just this. It's redlining. It's education. It's a whole bunch of different things. But I was talking about it in a specific, like, building wealth. Like, let's say, taking your example, I need the big banks because black banks don't have the money for me to buy a house, right? So I need Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America for me to build my kids' wealth. So I need to use them, but I still could put my money in a black bank so that they could build their wealth. So when my kids need a loan, they go there instead of going to Chase, Wells Fargo. So I agree with you, but I didn't sell myself out to make myself look bad. So it's like, I could put my kids and everybody else on. So it's like, I agree with you on that analogy, but at the same time, it's like, Kanye didn't have to wear that hat.
That's what I wanted to say, right? Two things, because I don't want to forget what you said the first time, right? So with if we use Kanye specific, well, no. Before we get to that, back to the police military thing, right?
Wait, I wasn't finished with the second point. I just wanted to add the second point to add as like the second point about when you were saying you knew before. I feel like it's important to have black police. I feel like it's important to have black people in the military. That's the only way you start changing the system, right? I can't have you. You can't expect a white police officer to be able to come into a black neighborhood and police black people correctly. You need black people for that. That's why North is able to flourish the way that they're able to flourish. It's like you need people that grew up in that neighborhood that know those people. You can't send no white person to my neighborhood thinking that they're not going to be scared and they took their police job.
But this is what I'm saying.
So give a black person a job, and then now we changing the system.
Everything that you just said is true on a service level. I agree. What I'm saying is that leads to illusion. It's called the illusion of inclusion, right? And everything you said, I'm gonna show you where it can be used as an illusion. It's not every case. Nothing is all the time. But I'm saying, so back to where you started, which was the police and the military, right? We say that if these people join, they can change the system, right? It's been a long time. How many cases or towns or cities? And I know it's not really something you can answer off the top of your head, but where we can say where somebody joined the police force and changed everything. We still do it.
But we're working on it. We're building up to that. That's not going to be overnight.
Wait, let me finish, though. It's not overnight, but we've been going through the same thing for 50, 60 years. That's progress. Not overnight at all. Hold up. Let me finish. What I'm saying is, to that point specifically, because I want to answer all three of your points before I let you speak. So look, what I'm saying is, right, if a system is, like she said, systematic oppression, if a system is created to work a certain way, it don't matter if 30 black people join the force in this city. It's going to be that way because, like we said in the beginning, it's like you can't have two things at once. Like we said in the beginning, right? If you insert from the bottom, right, and even no matter how high you work your way up, if the system is built to operate this way, you can scratch and claw and say, oh, we're going to do this. You're going to make progress. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure cities that have a lot of black police have less of these problems, but you ain't never going to get rid of it altogether because the system was built to work a certain way. That's why you see people say defund the police, because they're saying we can't change it by trying to say, oh, don't do this, don't do that. The system is working one way. All we can do is take the resources from that system so it's less strong. And then with Kanye, the seat at the table thing, the reason why I say that's an illusion is because I personally believe he didn't make any more money or any more capital off the fact that he sat there and put that hat on. He got his name buzzing. He got put into the limelight in certain good and bad ways for that. But I feel like everything that he has done up to this point, he could have did it without putting that hat on. And it in hindsight, it's like, oh, it makes him look so genius, like, oh, he got next to him and then he did this. But I personally feel like he could have did them things regardless. Now, the sellout part, you're not a sellout because you joined the police force. I want to reiterate what I said. I said, once you participate in these certain actions or you see people do it and you let it happen without saying nothing, that's what makes you a sellout. And I feel like in Kanye's purpose, he can do as much good for the black community as he wants. And we can't take that away from him, but we can say when he put that hat on, he sold out. It is what it is. You get what I'm saying? Or not?
Nah, I get you.
I agree with you.
I don't disagree with the word you just said. I just don't. I'm not saying that the only way to solve the issue is to go through the system. I definitely don't believe that. Nowhere near. Obviously, because like you said, that's what we've been doing. You trying to go through the system, and it ain't working. I just feel like it don't. You think it's gonna work, but it never really does. Like if we look back, we don't have no examples where we can say these people joined the military or these people joined the police department, and it's not. We still going through the same stuff. I feel like they tell you that, so you think, damn, like you may on a day-to-day, let's say North specifically, that's where I'm from. If you become a black cop in North, you may have situations where you might have saved somebody's life or somebody could have went to jail, but you gave them a pass. Absolutely. But if we compare the amount of times it don't go that way to the amount it does, you're not really changing that, I don't think. No, I'm not. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing that that's the only way. I think we need to be doing it from all angles. I think we need to go the route we going right now, but you also still need to go through the system because we still need those people in place. Just because, like, you still need that plan B. So when we get there, all right, then what? We still need the people that's educated or the people that need to be in those positions. So it's like, I definitely feel like we need to be tackling this from all the angles that we are right now. Like exactly what's going on right now is exactly what needs to be going on right now.
So touch
like
on. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say like what you were saying earlier about how this is a different time. This is a pandemic, so it's not like, oh yeah, I went to the march on Saturday, but I can't go on Tuesday because I got work. Yeah. It's not. I don't got work on Tuesday. I don't got shit else to do. But not my white counterpart don't either. And guess what? They hurting too. And so that's why they out there marching with you. So now before it was this our fight. Right. Now it was our fight, the black people, just us. Now it's, you see, this system wasn't built for you either, you poor white person.
Yep.
You see it too. So now what, you gonna get on the street and you gonna protest with us? So now that crowd look bigger. Right. So now you see where we was coming from before.
Yeah, we were having this conversation last night about the 85 South show, right? When DC made a comment. You can speak on it because I don't really know.
No, it was this point when he was just saying, he was talking about reasoning with why we can't reason with people who are racist. Like, it was the idea of like, if we all feel like racism is a bad thing, then what's the problem? Or if you decide to be a police officer, like, why is you scared? And it's the other guy, I guess he from Wildin' Out, he had put it like, if a roach walk across the room, you gonna step on it, right? And then if somebody asks you why you stepped on a roach, you're gonna be like, it's a roach. What you mean why I stepped on it? And so, and he's saying that's the mentality of a white person. So if you from birth, somebody is telling you Black lives don't matter, or that's who you kill, and then they ask you, yo, why you kill him? And he like, yo, what you mean? You black, one less black person. They gonna multiply. Why you kill that roach? What you mean? It's gonna multiply. We don't want more. I killed that one. Duh. That's their mentality right now. Like, you ain't no person. I don't see you as a person. You might as well be a roach. You gonna multiply. It's gonna be more of you. I gotta get rid of you before it's more. And I don't see you as nothing else. And that's what I was trained to view you as my entire life. Just like how I was viewed. I'm stepping on a roach. I don't care.
How do you guys feel about the All Lives Matter?
Bullshit.
Yo, you've been spicy all show. I love it.
Look, Mercury's a retrograde.
We all know that we matter, but Black Lives Matter. Like, this is the fight that we are dealing with. Not your fight. It was even like, I seen like the little meme, like the lady was helping the guy whose knee was hurt, and then the other guy standing up like, what about my knee? Your knee's not broke. You're fine. Right. Yeah. You're just mad that all of the tension is right here because it's needed. This is where the tension needs to be. So how I feel about that is, of course, if you want to put it that way, that yes, we all do matter. Like, I don't hate other people and stuff like that. I wasn't born like that. I'm not gonna be that person. But at the same time, though, this is our time. Yeah. Like, this is our time. This is about us. Like, stop making it want to be all about you, being that is all about us.
Yeah, like, Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that other people don't matter. We just reminding y'all that we matter because Black lives haven't mattered since for centuries, for 400 years. We've had slavery, we've had Jim Crow, we've had segregation, we've had the Civil Rights Movement, and now we're here. Our lives have never mattered. Before we could even fight for the right to vote or anything like that, we were fighting to be seen as human. We were 3/5. We weren't even a whole person. That's so crazy. We've been dehumanized since the beginning of time. They had us in zoos. They had us on exhibitions. They had us in museums. We were property. So we have to fight for our lives. We have to say our lives matter because they never did. Clearly. They never did. And then people get that so misconstrued, like, oh, Black lives matter, all lives matter. Yeah, they do, but we matter too, and we have to keep reminding.
If you have to explain that to somebody, then
you're right.
It's because they don't care. Because, I mean, listen, if you say Black Lives Matter, no part of that says that nobody else does. It's just like, if you say, like, just like you said with the whole knee thing, there's a small example of it. Me saying that my knee is hurting don't mean that you any less or whatever the case. That just means I need help right now. So anybody that questions that or says, like, well, what about, they're just showing you, like, some people, somebody else said this to me. Some people are committed, you feel me, committed to being confused or committed to not understanding. So at a certain point, and it's like they know what you're saying. They know exactly what you're saying. You don't even have to give them, a whole background of it. Some people really want to know more, and that's one thing. But those that ask, like, silly questions like that or say, well, what about all lives, is because they don't want to understand. And at that point, you just got to, like,
and it's like all
give your attention to something bigger than that.
all lives can't matter if Black lives don't matter, right?
Right.
So it's like, how you saying that if what I'm saying not true? So it's like, why you disagreeing? You just want to disagree to disagree? Because that's what that sounds like. Because it's like, how all lives matter if Black lives, you need all that together, right? So if I say white lives matter, does that make that any less true than all lives matter? No, right? So it's like, you heard what you wanted to hear. You like you said what you wanted to say. You ain't misconstrue it.
You knew what it was.
You felt a little left out
Yeah.
because we took your superiority out of it. So let me make all lives matter.
It go
Let me
back
make
to what
blue
people
lives
say.
matter.
It go back to what we say as kids, like if the shoe fit.
Mm-hmm.
If
Wear
you
that
talk
shit.
about
Get
racism,
outfit.
anybody, if you talk about racism, anybody that has any argument or why, it's because they have some type of racism, racist in them. You know what I'm saying? Even with cops, right? I seen a black cop, well, somebody I know personally that happens to be a black cop. He made a beautiful post because it was like, yo, I became a cop, to fix some of the things in my community personally. And I understand why y'all say what y'all say, and I would never argue with y'all. Like, I get it completely, right? Any cop, when you call out cops that say, well, all cops ain't bad, they're showing you right there that they got some of that shit in them because you would know that they not talking about me. You get what I'm saying? As somebody that knows a few white people or non-black people in general, if I say, oh, non-black people, this and that, they know, like, he not talking about me because I ain't never been racist to nobody. I ain't never did nothing wrong. If you feel that way, like, if you feel like you gotta come out and say something, then they kind of just showing you, like,
Now, another thing I want to bring in, I have like questions to ask like both of you guys because I know you guys went to the peaceful protest that they had in Newark, which I'm really proud about. For me personally, I wasn't really in a right space to go out and protest with everyone, and I felt really bad about it. But when I took a step away from everything and I isolated myself from social media and I talked to my friends, I'm in a group on Instagram. My friend Michaela made a group, and it's a bunch of people from all over, and they just update us. So like, and now I don't have to go on Twitter. I can just go to the chat and we can talk and we can like review the information, make sure it's right, and spread it correctly. So like, there's different ways that you can like support. There's different ways that you can show love. There's different ways that we could keep this movement going with just making everybody aware of the right information, petitions, donations, just everything else you can do. Like, I don't want anyone to feel some type of way if they're not the type of person to go out and protest, if they're not the type of person who can do that or who has that energy. I would like everybody to, but there's so many other ways to help, and there's so many other links, and there's so many other people, and there's so much information that you can be sharing to everybody. So how was like the protest for you guys in Newark?
Did anybody else?
I've been to like 17 different protests in the past week and a half. Wow. I was just at one today. I think everybody isn't Asada, everybody isn't Malcolm, everybody isn't in the front line. There's different ways to show leadership. There's different ways to show your advocacy, 100%. But I do also, and to your thing about your group chat, that's exactly what y'all need to be doing, and everyone in your own networks, in your own family, in your own group of friends. Sometimes you may come off as a person that know it all or ignorant or not ignorant or just like doing too much, but so what? Like, update everybody, make sure they vote and make sure they know what's going on in the world, make sure what streets not to go on, like just general, like what's happening. Make sure everybody know what protests, if they want to go to a protest, what protest is happening today. Like, it was, I think maybe like 10 different protests today in the state of New Jersey. Just update people on what they can do. 2, if you aren't a person to go out and protest, which personally I think everybody can be, even if you're there for 5 minutes, it shows in numbers. I think that you should be, again, sending out emails, posting like at least everything that you see, reposting, calling, like making sure those people that are protesting, like, do y'all need anything? Y'all just organize a protest. Do y'all need somebody to call these people? Do y'all need posters made? Do y'all need something? Like, whatever it is, making sure you get involved in any way. Because like today's protest, they needed a whole bunch of water, and I called a friend, like, can you bring it? She was like, yeah, I'm down, let me go. I know she's for the movement, but she's just not a protester. She's not about to be outside and protesting. That's not her. But it's just different things you can do on that, and that notion. In terms of the Newark one, there's one tomorrow at 3:00, by the way. But in terms of the one that Larry Ham and People's Organization for Progress organized last Saturday, it was amazing and very beautiful to see, first and foremost, because the mayor was the front line of the protest. Yeah. And he spoke at the beginning of it. So it was very and that was when it first had started, so all of the protests, and so it was very for me personally, I've been protesting since I was 14 for many different reasons. But it was very, to me, I think it was the best protest I've been to yet, because I was like, yo, my mayor, who, you know, people have been saying, oh, we looting downtown, all of this stuff. But I was like, yo, my mayor is here, like, making sure we good. And if we doing whatever we doing, I'm down too. So for me, it was just the most, and I've been to so many. And yes, Saturday I went to 3. So it was just, I've been to so many, and none of them have touched me the way, and I guess it's because I'm from Newark, but none of them have touched me in the way that one did. Because it was like, yo, Raz was there holding the front, like guiding everybody. So it was a beautiful protest.
So that's literally round of applause for Newark.
Yeah.
Literally.
Definitely gotta give a round of applause to Newark, because it's funny, quick little story. So I made a post on my page to just like let everybody know, like, we're going and protesting in Newark. But like, this is our city. Like, and if y'all really from Newark, it ain't look how it look now. So let's keep it clean. Let's actually protest, you know, let's not do all the looting and everything like that. The whole point of us protesting is to back up Minneapolis. That's the whole point. We're backing y'all up. We're here with y'all. We're showing y'all that it's time for a change. So we shouldn't be looting our city.
I don't know if it was. Yeah, I don't know if it was just to back up, but I feel like it was for the whole cause. But it was just like we in a place where it's not. We don't technically have this problem per se.
I get that, but I'm saying that was the situation. No, wait. Let me tell you something. That was the situation at hand.
Y'all, Newark just had in 2016 a whole documentary on police.
I'm not saying
police doing us dirty. Like,
wait.
Police in Newark has been doing us dirty, like completely. Go on PBS and watch that documentary on how Newark is racially profiled, and it's our own people, black and brown people, profiling ourselves. It's a different problem than white people killing us, for sure. But the police structure in general was built a certain way, and no matter what color you are, they're following that structure. No matter what color you are, they're following that structure. So first, and two,
I agree with that.
Two, on your point, burn the whole city down if you need to.
Wait, hold on.
Listen, hold on. We don't own none of those buildings. We don't own.
Thank you.
Listen, this is your real opinion.
Finish what you were saying so I can go, please.
I love my city wholeheartedly, and there's a growing population of black businesses downtown, which I love it. Black Swan, Kai's Place, what is it?
Cali Couture.
Yeah, so many Cut Creators. There's so many on that one block. Like, but we don't own none of those buildings, is what I'm saying. It's 3 people downtown Newark that own most of downtown. There's one company called RBH that owns 79 buildings in Newark, and none of those people look like us. So burn the whole shit down if you need to.
I'm telling you.
Look, let me say.
And then I actually didn't know what happens to the black businesses. That's what
I'm saying. I didn't
that's
personally.
What I said.
I'm not personally.
No, we're gonna leave them.
No, that's
leave them alone.
But like that same night, I went to Philly and they was looting.
Oh yeah,
they were
crazy. That's what I mean by. That's why I feel like the protest was a little different where we are, because when you go through,
and
what I mean by
that's what I was also saying
by going
too.
through the system, it's our people that's. Like you said, it's our people that's the police. But I'm not saying that they're not racist, or not some of them. But it's our people, and then that's our mayor. Yeah. He's really from our city.
I get that, but that was I was saying too as well. Again. Like that was also like how I interpreted it. Everybody has their own interpretation of everything that's going on, and my interpretation of like the situation happened. Yes, we protesting for everything because we want to change. That's what we want. It's change. And how for Minneapolis, I'm happy they're doing it. And by all means, without them rioting, we would have never got to where we are right now. I'm sorry to say, we would not be where we are right now. With him getting charged and locked up and everything, we would not be where we are right now without the rioting. But this situation, I just felt like for Minneapolis, burn it down by all means. It happened in y'all town. It happened there. Do that. Now, like I said, this is my opinion, my interpretation of it. No, I'm here to back y'all up. I'm here with y'all, standing with y'all. For like every other town, I'm not just saying just for Minneapolis, because it has happened everywhere. But at that moment, in that situation, we are here backing y'all. Y'all have our full support. Everybody, London, UK, everybody is here with y'all, standing with y'all. So I'm just saying, burning down like Atlanta and everything. Like if y'all want to, you feel me, burn down the white buildings.
If that's gonna get their attention, let's get it.
Okay. My whole thing is that personally, okay, hey everybody, I'm Vera. I know I've been quiet, but I've been listening. You know, I'm gonna get real active soon, but I'm just listening to everybody and everybody talking. But I'm on both sides of the spectrum, only because being black in America has always been hard. It's always been a struggle, and it has not been easy. It has taken years for us to get here. This is not just happening because, we decided to have a great protest this time. We have been doing this shit for years, okay? We have been having technology and shit to bring this shit to the forefront for years. So it took time to build this momentum. You get what I'm saying? This wasn't just like, okay, yeah, George Floyd died. Do you know, we have Breonna Taylor. We have so many other people that just been fucking killed by police. At the end of the day, it took the momentum of us to just be like, you know, what the fuck, it's 2020, we're tired. You know, people are tired. They're really sick of this. And I think if you want to burn some shit down, burn it down. You know, at the end of the day, everybody's feelings is valid. You feel me? I can't speak on Jen's relationship with police. I can't tell the next person their encounters, what they had with police brutality and just living in America and being black. So hey, if today is the right day for me to burn some shit down, you may be peaceful, but sis, I'm going all in. I'm not gonna be mad at you. I'm not gonna feel no type of way because, like I said, it's been hard being a black person in America. And a lot of people on the outside looking in don't know what it is on anybody's level to deal with this shit every day and to keep having to, you know, move forward. Like, you know, everything is okay when we know this whole system, every system that has been built in America is against us. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to be on the bottom when it comes to oppression and capitalism. And if they can keep black people at the bottom, they will. Yeah. And even I didn't get a chance to speak on the little All Lives Matter thing. But personally, for me, I think it's very, very fucked up when you think about the All Lives Matter thing, because it's just kind of like you're discluding the fact that people have been here, built this shit on their backs. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, like, you know, I haven't been included, you know, and I want to sit at the table. How about that? I want the table if I can buy the table, but y'all not allowing me because guess what? You have discrimination. You have so many laws put into place to keep us back. You know, in our own communities, we can't even thrive. Black people live in some of the most hazardous areas in the world. If you get incarcerated, you can't vote. You get what I'm saying? We can't do so much. We just was able, if I'm not mistaken, March 2nd? When did they just pass the law for March 20th? For felons to vote in Jersey. This has just been something that was passed. Like, it's so much things that we're still fighting for as a people, and it takes all of us. You know, I think more people are just becoming inclusive to what's going on because we're able to speak more on what's happening. So for me, I'm here for either or. If you want to take it there, take it there. If you don't. You know, either or. As long as you black, do what you want to do. If you black, you can do what you want to do. Period. That's how I see it.
To conclude that though, like businesses, like they'll bounce back, but we're talking about somebody's life. Like somebody's dead, they're gone forever. And people are talking about why y'all breaking into why y'all this? Fuck Gucci. People are dead. Like, this is an ongoing issue. People are dying.
Gucci just had a blackface incident. Fuck Gucci. Not even like, come on. Like, they just like, come on, no.
So you want to get your girl that Gucci bag, get her that Gucci bag. Like,
I feel like that also.
Wait, hold up. I want to answer the original question. First thing before I forget, and I'm gonna say a lot, and I know some of it is gonna be like, just try to let me finish. Nah, I got a couple unpopular opinions about the protests and other protests. Okay. First thing I want to say is, before we say all that, I want to say, I know you didn't mean it that way, but I take it as a personal insult when people from Newark, I live in Newark all my life, when people from Newark say, like, we don't really, that was you that said that, but you agreed. When people say, like, like, we don't have them type of problems with Newark police.
No. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean like that type of problem like at all. I was never mind.
No, I'm saying it might be. It might be.
I was talking like racially as far as white cops.
Yeah, but
and our black. I wasn't saying that we didn't have like our own situation happening here.
You're not the first person that I heard, even though you didn't mean it like that. But I'm saying not just you specifically, but anybody that thinks that way, because it's not. Usually when them things happen in Newark, it's not blown up the same way. Yeah. And one, explain why, and to debunk that. First of all, I personally know I can count 5 people that have been killed by Newark police specifically, right? That's number one. Number two, it also goes into the notion that if you are killed in the process or after you commit a crime, you deserve to die. You get what I'm saying? Where it's like, George Floyd didn't really do nothing at all. So it's like, damn, like how could they? You get what I'm saying? But when we have black people that, oh, he was on his way from doing this, or there was a gun found in the car, it makes it okay. Like, or maybe you might not say it's okay, but everybody just pass it off because, oh, damn. It go back to that thing where people divert by saying, oh, what about black on black crime? It's the same way of thinking. You get what I'm saying? And not exactly. And I say that to say, you get what I'm saying? People just need to be more aware that, one, like you said, it's way more white people that are, you know, a part of these departments, especially like people of Italian descent in these departments. That's number one. Number two, it's way more, you know, crimes done against black people, whether it's race driven or whether it's just on some power trip shit. It happens a lot in Newark specifically. So back to the original question about the protest. Like you said, it was powerful, you know, it felt good. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna say it didn't feel good. I'm not gonna say it was great. But, you know, some of my dislikes about it was that, you know, that I wasn't even gonna bring that up, but that also I personally feel I disagree. All right, but well, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it, and then I'm gonna go to what I was about to say. I personally don't like it because ultimately that is not. And we can add in to the Cupid Shuffle, a lot of people were saying, oh, let's all take a knee. I hate that. I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people were saying, I don't like certain chants I like. I don't like I Can't Breathe personally. I also don't like Hands Up, Don't Shoot. They all go into the same box for me, and I'm going to explain why, right? If we are protesting, number one, it's about us. We all coming together in unity towards one common goal. That's number one. Number two, we are showing that we are upset and we showing that something is not okay. And then lastly, in my opinion, a protest, whether it's peaceful or not, is a show of power, is a show of strength. What part of taking a knee is a show of strength? What part of all dancing together is a show of strength at all? What part of that is saying, if y'all allow this to keep happening, it's going to be a problem and we're not going to allow it? I don't think anything at all says that. It's kind of like a victim thing. And I get where people be coming from, like the signs that say, oh, my skin is not a threat, things like that. I get the thought process, but ultimately, how long is we gonna keep begging? Don't shoot me, don't shoot me. Clearly, that's not working. So we need to we need to say something else. And like you said, everybody is not an aggressor. Like, I'm not saying go smack a cop or go yell in his face, but let's not be so passive because so far that ain't really do nothing. That was one thing I dislike. Also, right. Another thing that's a touchy subject, and I've been talking to different non-black people. Like, I have Dominican friends, Puerto Rican friends, even white friends.
They black. Yeah. They is black.
Whole another topic. But what we talked about was, I personally feel like when it comes to these protests and these movements, I feel like we should, you know, direct non-black people that want to help in the right direction. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like in a lot of cases, it doesn't really help us to have them, you know, at the forefront of certain marches and certain demonstrations. Why? I personally feel like, and this is based on something that I heard somebody else say, you know, that's very knowledgeable. It's like when you look at the news or you look at these videos, right? Sometimes you see way more, you know, non-black people than black people, right? And there's nothing wrong with that at a surface level, but eventually it can be. Our fight. It's our fight, one. That's why I don't like people, you know, going out begging other people to help. Yo, y'all black too. If they don't want to be black, let them not be black. But ultimately, I feel like it can be addressed as a multicultural problem once everybody, you know, kind of try to take the forefront instead of black people. They can twist it and say it's a multicultural thing against the police, and then the black people don't get directly treated. We don't get directly helped because it becomes an everybody thing. And I personally feel like right now it's disproportionate. It's way more black people dying than anybody else. So the black people need the attention right now. And I feel like those that want to help, we should be guiding them in the right direction. I've seen way too many tweets of non-black people, especially white, telling black people how to deal with this. And it's like, if you never went through it, like if you never faced injustice, if you never went through none of that, you can't tell somebody how to respond to that. And one of the last things I'm going to say is, back to the original, the original thing was I'm tired of people, and you say you've been protesting for a long time. I feel like I've been quote unquote woke. I've been, pro-black. I would say probably since like 14. That's when I really started getting into, things like that. So it's been a good 8 years. I want to say that I hate people that go to one protest and think they can talk down on other people. I really dislike that. You get what I'm saying? Or people that might have read a little article or something, and then they go talk down at other people.
This is not the time to do that.
Like be there for like 10 minutes and post it. Like, girl,
and
you
then
was
leave.
here for 10 minutes.
And that's what I'm saying. Ultimately, everybody has a role. Like you said, whether you in a group chat, as long as you paying attention and speaking on it, and at least, devoting your time in some way, whether that's talking to somebody, whether if you got a little sibling and you building them up in the right direction, as long as you know what's going on and you playing your part, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, we need everybody to be doing something.
That's
everybody can't do the same one thing.
I don't think everybody can do the same thing, but one reason why I have to disagree with you when you talk about just excluding ourselves is that's what we always have faced. So allowing other people to definitely be inclusive to this fight is very important, because for a long time they never wanted to be a part of this, and they never wanted to do this. They never wanted to stand on the front. White people have always used their privilege in so many other ways. So if they're willing to use their privilege to definitely wake up what's going on with us as a people, I'm here for it. I'm wholeheartedly
a certain way though. That's
Also,
what I'm saying.
people marched. I'm using the mic. More people marched with the March on Washington with MLK. More white people marched than black people. That's why. That's because 76% of America is white. Only 13%
is black people.
Is black. So unfortunately, it's going to be disproportionate.
But that's also my point, though.
Also, to your point, if we go back, I love history. It's my favorite subject, so we could go on forever. But to the point of black people have never, like, I agree and disagree with you. Black people have never fought for only themselves. And I'm Dominican, and I say this to my family all the time because they be on some wild shit, and I always got to check them. But like I was saying to my cousin Kim the other day, I'm like, you wouldn't be here. I was born here, but you wouldn't be here if it weren't for my grandfather, right? He came in the 70s. Why was he allowed to come from DR? Because of the 1965 civil rights movement. Immigration law was signed 2 years later because of that civil rights package. Right. So it's like they have never fought for only themselves. Never. Ever. It's always been equality, equity. It has never ever been just about them. That's why, to me, it's beautiful, low key, and at the same time, I ain't a fan of white people, period. But at the same time, it's like you have to be like some of them that are there. Some of them are older. Like I saw a sign yesterday in Jersey City that said I was at the 1964 march. Like some of the stuff that I'm seeing is just like, wow, like people, like we're really still fighting the same fight. Like it's the same.
It's literally the same thing. Exactly.
And to your point, I was just thinking, Ella Baker, sis wasn't in the front line. Sis was making calls. Like, it was just too many different people who can be used for different things. But the point is, and something that I was thinking about with some of my friends, some of my organizing friends, is we're talking about a political class where we teach people online about civics, about their history, about their rights, how to build wealth. Like, if you're 16 and you going to college, save your refund check so you can buy a house and you can start building your wealth. It's just so many things that me too. It's just so many things that as a black and brown community, it's just not about protesting. It's basically what I'm getting at. Protesting is not the strategy. It's a part of the strategy.
Right.
So when people just be like, "Oh, I went to a protest." Okay, and what else? What else are you doing? Like, what's your point? I went to a protest yesterday. I'm not gonna tell. I told you I went to 4. I'm not gonna tell y'all which one. But I was just like, okay, and like, why are we still here though? Like, what you talking about? Like, what's the next step? Like
to piggyback off of you.
Like, what's the next step? Like, what are we doing? And that's what makes me mad when it's just like, all right, let's have a protest. Why? Because it's popping. I'm down for the protest, and I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna help you organize it. But what is your strategy? Like, what are we doing? Like, how are we getting together and building? What are our 10 points? What are we doing? Another Black Panther Party where we give out 10 points? Are we building another constitution? What are we asking for?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because I like.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Got me
sorry.
hot.
And my experience is like when I'm talking to my different friends, like this has been the time where I've seen like a lot of true colors, and I had to like clean out my space with certain people. It's like, okay, a lot of people say this means nothing. Why am I gonna fight this? You guys look dumb. You guys, I've seen it all. Trust me. Like, da-da-da. And it's just like, a lack of knowledge altogether. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the most knowledgeable person in the room with this information. Like, during this quarantine and during these protests, I learned so much that I felt like I don't know why I wasn't taught this. Or I've had friends correct me and say things and Yanni this and Yanni that and send me stuff and da-da-da, and this tweet means this and this tweet is not real. I think it just really starts with, like, educating yourself. You cannot go on the front line and not know what you're talking about. We don't need that right now. You feel me?
Whenever somebody asks, because I get it, it's overwhelming. Yesterday I had to unplug for a couple hours. I was like, don't call me. Like, I need a couple hours. Because I help other people organize. I've been doing this for a while. But the first thing I tell people when they say they want to learn is unlearn. You got to unlearn. That's the first thing. You have to unlearn before you can learn anything. And they be looking at me so confused. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, yo, you literally have to unlearn everything America has taught you. Like, every single thing was a lie. There's a book called Lies My Teacher Told Me. It's the best book ever. Like, it's the best lies my history teacher told me. Literally everything that's the first book you want to read if you want to learn to or unlearn to learn. And first book.
I wholeheartedly agree with that because I remember going to college and having to unlearn everything I was taught. Because if you know anything about America's educational system, you know that it's taught through the lens of an old white man. And that's just facts, like over any institution, you know. And yeah, so it's like if you know how we are taught in schools, we're basically taught how to pass tests. We're not really taught really how to, you know, use our minds and elevate as people. So me going to HBCU really kind of like, you know, and that's not the first front. Like, I've been, you know, knowing my Black history and stuff, but just certain things that I learned in school, you know, having to get there and be like, oh, yeah, they taught you that was wrong. Like, you know, and having professors really, like, sit down and let us know about certain things that it was wrong, it was eye-opening to me. So just having to move forward as especially a Black woman in America is very, very fucking hard. So going through the point where, you know, your teachers is putting you on and letting you know what's the right way to do things and how to do this was really, really eye-opening. So I could wholeheartedly agree with that 100%. Unlearn as much as you can because they have been teaching us the wrong way for years.
And I have a book list. Our org, North Community Action Network, we put together a list of books for us, by Black people for us, so we can you can learn your own history. It's on our Instagram page.
You guys are awesome.
It's on our Instagram
shout out the
page.
Follow us and just stay up to date because we do so much for the community, especially when it comes to giving back to Newark. Yeah. So definitely follow us on that part.
It's just like I've recently just donated a whole bunch of books and I've restarted my library and those are the ones that I'm reading because the first step as I was saying earlier is it's like a racism is right here and then it's like all of these systems and pillars that they have, education, redlining, school, like everything that they have, police. It's just so much that they have against us. And I feel like before you can even tap into anything, you have to unlearn and then learn and then see which one, because we all can't do all of it. Yep. See which one you want to tackle.
Can I ask a question to everyone though?
Wait, real quick.
Go ahead, yeah.
I just, before we like change the topic and everything, just kind of going back on to what you said, just piggybacking, that's kind of like been my energy, like this whole situation, like everything that's going on. What's next? What's the plan? Yes, we protesting, but what are we building up to? Because it's me. It's like even like when I started the podcast and everything. Okay, this is what I want to do because this is gonna start this up and everything else. Like everything is like a step. Like you got to do this to get that. But like, what's next? What do we want as a whole? And I felt like. I just felt like that's what we need to know and we all need to be in cahoots about. Like, do we want laws changed? Yes, we protesting and everything, but I don't think people are thinking far enough. Like, you got to think about the bigger picture. Y'all just looking at the picture now. What's the bigger picture? What's the bigger movement? I'm not saying that what we're doing doesn't matter.
One thing I can say about that, though, I think that's just a mentality type of thing. Because that's how I kind of govern my life. Yeah. Right? Like, I don't just go doing things just to do it. I really think about where do I come in this world? How can I be a solution to the problems that have been happening? You know, no billionaire, no millionaire became a billionaire without a problem, you know, without something that they feel like they had to come in and find a solution for. And I think it's very important when you have that mentality because you get to tap into things that haven't once been done. You know, you start to open up conversations that haven't once been talked about. So it's very important when you have that mentality. Even us starting NorCan, we came up with NorCan because we knew it was a problem in our city and we knew we needed to be a solution in some way and somehow. So using our resources, using our power that we had to start a movement, you know, to build more resources in our city. So I think that's a mental thing. Like overall, more people need to have that mentality of figuring out how can I be the solution, you know, in a world where people have been doing all of this for so long. Yes, they've been doing it forever. We seen Asada Shakur. We seen everybody wilding, you know, Angela Davis. We had all of that. Like I seen a meme that said, you know, why are we still listening to D-Ray and Sean King when Asada Angela Davis is still alive? That's a fact. You know, this woman did so much work for black people and black women. You know what I mean? So it's just like unlearning that stuff and then realizing, like, you know, where do I go? You know, what do I do next? It's very important.
I think a direct action that's happening right now in some cities, like in Newark and Jersey City, is that they want a civilian police complaint review board, something like that. Where go ahead.
I was gonna just ask, is that I was reading a article on Facebook and it was like they're talking about how they wanted to end like the Qualified Immunity Act of basically like, you know, giving police officers like a shoulder to really, you know, like kind of giving them an excuse to do bad in their work. Like, okay, I killed him because it like just a shoulder to lean on, like I killed him because of this, or making excuses for how to like conduct bad business. They kind of wanted to make it easier for cops to be.
They would have to, like, first of all, this country do not like to amend its constitution. Let me just say that. Yeah. It prides itself. America prides itself on being one of the only countries that has only amended their constitution minimum 27 times. Like, they do not, they are not with the shits when it comes to trying to change their constitution. Somebody will, God forbid, fuck around, kill me before I say, if I say we should change the constitution. Right. It's just that. But if they are trying to do that, it's the way that the police is designed is to give them a leeway where it comes to like, they feel a need to protect themselves and protect the citizen. They're going to shoot or come at you in a way. I don't know. Haven't heard that. So I would love to see that. So if you can send me the link after this, I would like to see that. But that's what that is. It's like a way for police to protect themselves. Tamisha, you got something you wanted to say?
Oh, no, I was just, I think it kind of goes back to what he was saying before about when you were saying it's a mentality thing. I think how he was saying about the things that bother him about the protests, I think it kind of goes into that, right? Like, even into the end goal, like, I feel like the end goal is to have our own. Yeah. I feel like that's the end goal. I'm not trying to share. I don't want yours. I want my own, right? Like, that's the end goal. So I feel like if that's the end goal when you protesting, I'm unapologetic about it. This is my protest. This is my fight. And so when he was saying like about like if I'm fighting for black people having certain rights, I need the black people in the front. And I agree about that. It's like I'm not saying that everybody can't help, but I think it's exactly what you were saying. Play your part. Be exactly that, right? Like if you came to assist, then assist. You ain't gotta be in the front. You came to assist. That means you walk with everybody else and you build our numbers and you make us look good.
Or they could be in the front where they from. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. But it's just like right now this is our fight. So it's like
don't come to New York if you from now.
Right. And it's like the end goal is to have our own. So and it's like and don't get it twisted about that. And so it's just like, and I feel like that was the idea of like what the Black Panthers was going for. That's what Black Wall Street was about. I want my own. This is about me, and I'm unapologetic about it. And it's not that and I'm not saying that I don't want you to also have your own. And I'm not saying that I hope you get your own very soon after I get my own. But what I'm saying is I'm going to get my own. Period. And I think that that's the end goal, right? Like that's the mentality we got to have. So it's just like if we going to have that burn this bitch to the ground mentality, just burn this bitch to the ground. And we rebuild it back up for us. It's like I built it the first time, but I built it for you. Now when I build it, it's going to be for me, and it's going to be my money, and it's going to be on my shit, and it's going to be my blood, sweat, and tears, and it's going to be for me. And it won't be for you, and you ain't going to be able to keep building yourself off of some shit that I built, and then you don't even get to include me in it. So it's like, I feel like
I love that.
In the end, the end goal is I want my own shit. I want my own seat. I want the table if I can. But right now, you ain't even giving me the fucking option to get the table. I can't sit at the table. I can't sit at the seat. I can't get in the door. Get in the room. Can't get in the fucking door. So now I'm trying to. We gonna break these walls down, and I'm gonna flip this motherfucking table over, and I'm gonna buy my own. Like, and I think that that's the mentality. That's how we gotta move, and that's we don't have no choice. But I think that's also the energy that the pandemic giving, right? It's like, yo, no. First of all, I'm broke as hell. Like, Fuck your little $1,200 you gave me 1 month ago, 3 months ago. For 1 month, 3 months ago. Like, that's not gonna do nothing. And we poor. And you poor with me. Now, like, now you see where I was coming from. Before you thought I was whining. You thought I was playing. You thought, I really was saying, my skin brown. It's because I'm black. You thought that's how I was coming. But it's like, nah, it's really because I'm black and you really poor now, too. So now what? So now what we gonna do? I bet you want mine so you can be included because we know how I feel. Like, I think that's the mentality, right? Like,
yeah. Also, it's also what I was saying to one of my friends the other day. Because we was talking, I love my friends because we really get to all of this all the time. Like, but we was talking about it's really to the point. If we on that mentality, well then you gonna have to travel. If you live in North, you gonna have to travel all the way to South Orange Ave to go to that one black owned corner store. It's not. I'm not gonna go to this little corner store right here. I'm gonna go to the only black owned corner store that I know. I'm gonna make it my business to only support black businesses.
That's been Jada. I'll give it to you.
That's on every level. Yeah. That's laundry. That's your clothes. That's your contacts. That's your therapy. Your therapist. Your toothpaste.
Your skincare. Everything.
Everything. That's everything.
I think it's important to let people know because that could be overwhelming too. Like I could be like to be a black person and be like, oh, dang, I gotta change everything, and you don't really know, and you still want to test brands out. Because at the end of the day, we test the white brands out, and it's like I tried it, I didn't like it, and that could be the same. You can still have that same opinion with black brands. I think that it's important though that when you find a black brand that you like, you immediately substitute that white brand for that black brand. Mm-hmm. Of course, you don't hesitate about it, and I don't care if the shipping is gonna take 2 weeks. You wait that 2 weeks.
Yep.
And it's like, and the other thing that bothers me about that, as personally being a person that owns a black business is, as black people, we so quick to judge other black people. It's like, but dang, you read 37 reviews about that white company about how that shit was gonna be bad when you got it, and you still ordered it. Yet your friend told you that she didn't like my customer service. Mind you, you don't even know the whole story, but you ain't even gonna give me a try. Why? Cause I'm black. You ain't gonna give me that, like, you ain't gonna give me that little leeway because you feel like you know me already. It's like, but we could have already had a little situation, me and that customer. And yeah, she probably don't feel like we had good customer service, but that could have been our little situation. That ain't have to be all my customer service. Yeah. But we got the habit of overjudging our own and then giving everybody else the leeway.
We need to have that same energy with the prices too.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like when you move in only black, we really need to have that mentality. We really need to change black. We really need to give each other chances. We really need to be black.
Like, if they don't give you a chance, still break that shit down anyway.
Yeah.
Cause I definitely own 3 businesses and I have never stopped. I have never begged for customers. I have never asked anybody to support me. I have been wholeheartedly me. I have been Bearer. And I think when you are yourself and you're not looking at what everybody else is doing, I think a lot of reasons why people don't support each other is because we have been tapping into industries where we haven't always dominated. And now so many people are getting on it. It's like, I wanted to start that, so I'm probably not going to support her because, damn, I wish I could have started my own makeup line. And it's that mentality. It's not that even if you don't have customer service, people just really wanted to do what you do.
But that's what I feel like we got.
You know, on a level that they could have seen themselves at, and how you win at that is you just keep going. You know what I mean? You don't stop for nobody. You know how many people own this and own that and do this and do that, but if you worry about, if you worry about that, you have to really understand. Like when it comes to business, like that's a whole nother topic. We could be all day going on business.
That even goes into marketing.
You know, when it comes to business, I wholeheartedly take that to heart because, like I said, businesses haven't been something that black people have dominated. You know what I mean? So just taking something and making it your own, starting there. You know what I mean? We don't own a lot of shit, but I can say my businesses belong to me. Yeah. That's my name.
Everything is oversaturated to everybody. So it's like, oh, I can't do this because this person's doing it, this person doing that. And that just goes back to the whole crabs in the barrel mentality that we as a race face, which is part of systematic oppression and being institutionalized because the white man has pinned us against each other for years, going all the way back to slavery when you had the house nigga and the field nigga. It keeps going.
Freaking cosmetics brands that's white.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Different types of time, different types of detergent.
And they all in Sephora next
when you think of McDonald's and Burger King.
Right. Yeah.
They do the same thing. They just got their own strategy. But Burger King damn sure ain't worried about McDonald's. You feel me? They gonna get their bread regardless. McDonald's gonna get their money regardless. And then whatever you doing in life, you have to move like that. Especially when it comes to business.
But I think that's
nothing personal.
That's how you said though. That's our mentality. That's crabs in a bucket. It's like that's how people just that's what you immediately go to. Yeah. You like, but you when you look at the world for real, you like, wow, it's 3 gas stations on this corner. They don't care though, because it's about preference. It's like, I don't like that gas. I don't like McDonald's. Like, I don't want Sonic. It's just like, people know what they want. So it's like you could be in Sephora, you about to see 50 different makeup companies right next to each other.
Yeah.
If I want this Fenty, I'm getting a Fenty. I don't care that Morphe right there. Fuck Morphe. I'm going for this. It's like, because I know my preference already. I don't. It's not about who doing what. It's about you getting your money and what's coming for you. And it's like, we got to get out of that mentality.
I'm with you on that. Another thing that I want to say is just like with everything going on, it's been some brightness coming out too as well. Like we got black females doing nails now. We got black hair salons opening up, more of them. More people that can really take care of our hair and know what to do with our hair. It's a lot of people, and I feel like I've been seeing it more in like 19 into 20 of everybody just really like getting their own business and starting things up and just taking that step. And honestly, congratulations, because it's not easy. And especially if like you're not, one thing that I really want to say too is like, I'm happy for y'all opening y'all business, do y'all thing. But also too, if you're gonna do it, make sure you do it right.
Yeah, that's my
Because I'm sorry, but everybody cannot have a business. And I'm saying that within yourself. Like, if you know that you have a bad attitude and you don't want to talk to people and deal with customers, maybe this is not your field, baby. Like, don't do it because everybody else is doing it. Do what works for you. But also, if you're going to do it right. And congratulations. I love to see it. We got lip lines coming out. I think her name is The Real K. She just started her lip gloss. We got freckles. She got oils coming out, lip oils. You got Shandy Nails. There's a whole bunch of black businesses growing and coming out of this. So, you feel me? I applaud y'all. I'm happy for y'all. Just keep in mind that you do have a business. Your name's attached to that. You got to keep that in sight. Don't do something just because you see everybody do it. Do it because you really want to do it. Do it because you have that passion for that. Because it makes a difference versus you just doing something.
I feel like that's also, I get what you're saying, so I'm not disagreeing with you. But that's also, a negative ideology that we have towards other black people. Because it's like, I feel like how everybody else said, a white or not even white, non-black owned business, it can be 1,000 of them and it's cool. You get what I'm saying? I feel like with us, it's like, don't do that unless you got a passion for it. Maybe you just need to try it and see that you don't like it and stop doing it.
You don't know what
and
your
I feel
passions
like,
are till you try it.
Yeah, I feel like part of that is,
different.
it's like you said, unlearning. You know what I'm saying? It's in the black community is association with bad business and black business to where if you get one bad product, this is why I don't support black business. Where it's like, that was a bad business experience. It wasn't because the person was black. It just was a bad experience. And I feel like what you're saying is true, but I guess it's just, you gotta be careful with that only because I feel like people in the white community is not telling it, oh, you want to start a business? All right, try it. See if you like. It's not like, oh, make sure that's really what you want to do. It's so much pressure on us, and we add on top of it. It's already pressure from the moment you're born, because we all talked about systemic racism, crabs in a barrel. Crabs in a barrel is the way it is because crabs are not meant to live in a barrel. So we already facing that off top, and then we go add on to it and say, like, you get what I'm saying? You put so much pressure on a child, because, I mean, at 19, you still a child. You know, you growing, but you still a child. You put so much pressure on that person that maybe just rolling the dice. And it's like everything that we do in life is like life or death. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like we shouldn't amplify that. You know what I'm saying? If somebody want to start a business and they may not be business.
One thing I want to touch on just to also, like, a lot of things I hear with black owned businesses is about like pricing. And I feel like you will go out of your way to pay the white man anything for that designer. So what if a shirt $45? You need that same energy.
And if you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. I don't like the whole, because it are some people, I'm gonna be quick. It is some people who stuff is worth that price, the high prices, and I respect it. And there's some people who not. My thing with that is, don't use your platform to go, oh, this person charging this much, and it shouldn't be. Let them charge that much, and if you don't want it, you don't have to buy it.
You don't have to buy it.
You know,
Yes.
as a business owner, though, I think, like, honestly, when it comes to setting your prices, your price is your price. You know, and I think a lot of times while us as black people definitely fail when it comes to the community, because we care too much about what other people in our community think.
Yeah.
When I started any of my business, I never thought local, because I knew what I was doing was going to hit globally. You know, so I'm not thinking about if Jen wants to buy something from me, or if Jada want to buy something from me. I'm thinking about the fact that I'm going to create a product, and it's going to be a woman out here or a man out here that can utilize this.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm going to move forward. You know what I mean? Not locally, not thinking about, oh, dang, you know, I got to think about my prices. I got to kind of tone it down because, you know, she says she going to support me. She says she going to support me. When you drop that shit, none of them really support you anyway. 75% of my sales, I launched my business. I launched my business back in 2018. It took me 2 years to get to this point to even create a product that I wanted, that I felt comfortable enough, you know, to even put out. It literally took me 2 years to design something to be able to put it out and say, hey, I want to sell this to the world. 75% of my sales came from people I didn't know.
That's a fact.
75% of my sale. It took me 2 days to sell out all my pieces. I made $15,000 in 2 days, and I sold all my pieces to 75% of people I do not know. Yeah. So I'm telling you, you can't think locally. You can't think about, because my friend says she like it. You got to really understand that when you're going into business, this is personal. You get what I'm saying? This is for me, you know, and this is something I'm going to drop. And if they want to, you know, support me, or if they don't, oh well, you know, because there's going to be people out here that are going to buy it. Yeah. I'm telling you, you drop something, it's going to be so many people, they're going to buy it. They're going to be like, oh, let me get this. Let me add this to the cart. And it ain't going to be a lot of people, you know, but you can't take it personal. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Everything ain't for everybody. Everybody not going to like your stuff.
I don't own a business personally, but as far as pricing goes, I thought about it, and like just looking at it from a economic standpoint, it takes a lot of money to own a business. It takes a lot of money to even start a business. And a lot of times when you are starting a business or anything, you go to the bank and you get a loan. A lot of black people are not able to get loans.
So you talking
They're
about
not able to get loans. So it's like, you worried about money. You know, I need this revenue. I need this money in order to keep my shit going, because Chase ain't giving me no loan. Wells Fargo's not giving me no loan. City National Bank don't have enough money to give me a loan. So it's like, where else am I supposed to be getting my money from?
And that's honestly, that's very true, because it's so much that goes into a business outside of even just starting your business. You know what I mean? Like the production, your manufacturer, you get what I'm saying? Your shipping costs, your packaging. It's so much stuff that you gotta put into, you know, that piece that you're selling. You gotta throw all that in it. You can't just be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just sell this for this price because I know people are gonna buy it. No, baby, you're gonna pay $80 for this activewear. You're gonna pay $40, you're not. You know what I mean? Because it's so much that comes into putting in this brand. You're gonna pay for it.
I think I think one too about what you were saying about unlearning and about I think, so I started my business sophomore year in college. Like, I'm a graphic designer, right? So it was like, yo, in order for me to do what I need to do, I need to learn on hand, which means I need clients. I can't do what I need to do without having a client and having customer service or whatever. So it's like, yeah, I made some mistakes when I first started. Like, I probably even undercharged you probably too. I done made some mistakes, right? But it's like, it's the idea of, that was me learning, but those people gave me that chance. And then look, and then when I turned around and I got professional enough, then I turned around, looked at your logo and was like, that ain't me. I can do way better. So then I'm gonna revamp your logo. I'm gonna show you your logo revamp, and I'm gonna let you like it. And then after you like it, you're gonna be willing to pay me for it. Why? Because it looked better than the one you did before, and you was willing to give me that chance, right? And it was like you was willing to be like, oh, all right, that was a learning experience. That's what that was. Now you was able to do this. But then also as a graphic designer, when we was talking about pricing, so it's like, yeah, no, I'm not selling just one thing that I just set a price to. Now if you need a logo, or if you need this, now I need clients need different prices for different things, right? And it's like, you don't want to undersell yourself, or you don't want to underdo yourself. Like, you can have somebody asking you to do some simple ass logo, and then you like, damn, I charge $100 flat at least for a logo, if that's the low price you're going at, right? But then you like, took me 2 hours,
right?
But nah, that ass they paying for your expertise. It took you 2 hours. When you saying it takes a lot to build a business, I had to get here.
But that's what I'm saying.
That shit wouldn't have took me 2 hours. But in the beginning, it might have took me 2 hours. You get me? But it's like, so in the beginning, yeah, you would have had to allow somebody for some mistakes. We still gotta allow for our people to make some mistakes, because yeah, they just now starting their businesses. This is new to us, so you gotta allow for that little. I'm not saying they ain't gotta be perfect out the gate. But I'm not saying they also got to be wild and professional and you got to get them a chance.
Yeah, but then I agree with Jada when she say the passion, because I feel like it's a difference between a hustler and a business owner, because at the end of the day, you knew what time it was going to take. A lot of people want the end goal and they don't want to put in the work. You know, they see this business over here thriving and this black business is doing her thing, and I want to be where she at right now. So I'm not even going to take the time to mess up, to undersell myself or do things like that. They don't want to do that. They want the end goal. They want the riches. They want everything now.
For me,
and that's when you know you kind of passionate about something, because you're willing to be underpaid in the beginning. You willing to get that experience. You willing to go to that point where it's like, you know, I love this shit so much. I don't care if I don't make no money in the beginning. I intern for you for free, you know, for this first year. To now I'm owning the building probably next year because I don't put in so much work. Now I'm here. You know what I mean? I've grown as a person. So I think it very much is so passion. You know what I mean?
It is. I just think it's the narrative of people don't gotta be perfect right out the gate. Even if you can have a passion, but it's like the idea
you know, that's because people glamorizing other people's lifestyles.
But when you think about it, right,
you know,
it's like
it's personal.
If you have a big company, right, and you leave a review, it's like, all right, I left you that review and I gave you your feedback. You can do whatever for it, right? And we should have that same energy for black people, right? Like, if you sell me a product and I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you my feedback. I hope you do something with my feedback. And if you don't, I probably won't patronize you no more, and that's my business. But also, if you choosing to listen, and if you feeling like, oh, I know, that's right. Right? I'm wild. You make those changes, I'm still gonna come back and I'm gonna try you again. I'm gonna try you till you get it right. If you listen, like if you make those changes, but you gotta have that passion, like how y'all was saying. Like if you don't got that passion, you can listen to what people. But you don't gotta listen to all opinions. Like
I run this restaurant, and we base a lot of things off our views as well, right? So a lot of people that leave us reviews on like Yelp and Google and stuff like that. A lot of people just have time on their hands. Sometimes people gonna say a lot of stuff about your business that ain't true. But they just have time on their hands, and you just have to learn that if this is for me and if this is my business, it's gonna thrive. You know how many bad reviews I don't see people post about me on there, said things about me because I just didn't allow them to come into my establishment and think that they was gonna run shit when this is my place of establishment. You know what I mean? Or this was my price, and now she feeling the way because I charged her this much, and she want to get on here and say, oh, it wasn't worth this. It wasn't. You know what I mean? You just got to know how to maneuver.
I think we just need to be better at. Before I know you was about to change the subject, we just need to be better at letting people do their thing. I personally feel like it's just like
it's personal.
It's like, yo, if somebody is doing something and there's no meaning behind it, they just trying to make their money. Let them do that. You can either spend money with them or not. And if somebody is really, you know, passionate about something, then let them be that way. Like you said, because I started off doing just logos too, and I found out like, people that's less talented than me was charging this much. I'm about to up my price. I'm gonna let everybody know that come all the time. I'm gonna let them know, like, listen, my price gonna be different starting on this date. And there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, some people gonna purchase, some people not. I just feel like as a community, we need to be less. Everybody wanna be, especially Jersey. I feel like that's a Jersey thing. You know, every state got their own thing. Like New York people is real disrespectful. You get what I'm saying? Every state got their own thing. I feel like Jersey is like the too cool. Everybody is too cool for everything. Then on top of that, we black. So it's like we need to get rid of that attitude of just wanting to be the person to go against the grain or want to be the person that shit on something. Like, let people do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
But before we close out, I just want to make a statement that I wanted to make earlier. As far as like, I've seen a lot of things about calling people out on their racist behavior, especially on Twitter. So I had to like take a step back. There's a lot of people getting exposed, like old people that I knew, just like people of different companies, everything. And I just feel like that's just important for like the growth and the change that we're trying to make in the black community. If we're calling out these racist people and we're holding them accountable for their actions, these won't be the doctors that we're dealing with. These won't be the lawyers that we're dealing with. These won't be the people that we're putting in the house. You know what I mean? We're nipping everything in the bud. So that's one thing I want to talk about. And like on the other half of that, there's a lot of people that I've known and I've grown up with that I come from like a really diverse town. I'm from Bloomfield. And a lot of people got exposed because it's just like, you know, so kind of like segregated South Side, North Side. And there's a lot of people who will come for South Side. There's a lot of people who come for a lot of white people who would use the N-word a lot. Personally, me, I always corrected them. But don't go on social media and act all Black Lives Matter when you was the same person letting them say that and you ain't correct them. Or you was the same person dating them and you didn't correct them. Because that's something that I don't like. I feel like if you're going to stand with it, you need to be 10 toes down. There's a lot of things that... It was literally on Twitter where it was just like people would literally like trend it out and call people out, and it's like learn about what you're talking about with everything.
Yeah. Not to cut you off.
Nah, go ahead.
We are about to close this up, and I just want to say thanks for all of y'all being here. Like, this was really great. I feel
We
like
need a part 2 because we didn't get to.
no. We definitely need a part 2.
We didn't get hot. So we need a part 2.
We definitely. All right, we're definitely gonna bring y'all part 2 for sure. We're definitely gonna bring y'all part 2. But I just want to say like. This was really good. I want to thank you for coming on our show. It's been amazing. I'm going to just give my little closing statement or whatever real quick because I want everybody just to give a quick little closing statement, and then we're going to end it like that. Listen, we've been making a change. These last 2 weeks, shit has been changing. I just heard that they passed somewhere you can't even have a Confederate flag showing. It was, I think, like, you can't have it. Yeah, you can't have it posted up or showing. That shouldn't even be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. But listen,
I can't believe that.
After all this going on, it's officially can't be a thing anymore. So, we slowly but surely making progress, and let's keep focused. Like, I felt like that's another thing. Like, we gotta stay focused. Like, remember why we started this. And remember where we want to go.
Focused on the bigger picture, staying in everybody's ears, staying in everybody's face, whether they're uncomfortable or not. Keep protesting. Keep donating.
The Montgomery bus boycott took 382 days.
Yep.
Keep protesting. Keep rallying. Keep organizing.
Staying unapologetic about it. Like,
even if you've had 13 in your town, had at 14, 15, 16, keep protesting.
Bills was passed right after.
There's been a lot of change in this last week already. So
I don't think it's gonna stop this time. I think this. I mean, maybe I'm being optimistic, but I think that this time it's gonna last, and I think like people is really invested. Like I said, I just think it was the perfect timing. So I think people is gonna continue with this. My only thing that I hope is not the case. I just personally feel like it will never be. You know how you said we want our own table. I just personally feel like it can't happen here because it wasn't meant to. We're not supposed to be here, and it was built a certain way on purpose. If it does, then I would be the happiest person alive. But I just don't.
That's why I feel like we got to keep that unapologetic black mentality.
Definitely.
Say it loud.
I'm Black and I'm proud. This is Illest next up, baby. We'll be back for part 2.
Yes.
Yo,
What's poppin'?